You type in a website, black screen, no name, no logo, just a login box waiting for a password nobody has, and a file size that shouldn't be possible. This is the story of unnoticed.com, a domain that was registered in 1997. For years, almost nobody knew it existed. Then, around 2010, someone stumbled onto it and shared what they found on a forum. And what they found didn't make sense, because whoever built this site was hiding something enormous. Here's what the site looked like when you found it. A black background, a simple box asking for a username and password. That's it, nothing else on the page. Most people would close the tab. But one visitor didn't. They dug into the site's source code instead, and that's when things got strange. Buried in the code, they found the site was hosting a massive amount of data, individual files as large as 39 gigabytes, adding up to terabytes of total storage. In 1997. To put that in perspective, around that same time, Yahoo made headlines just for upgrading their servers to 24 terabytes total. That was an entire company's infrastructure. This was one anonymous login page. So who was storing that much data behind a password nobody could crack? We'll get to that. Word spread fast. People tried brute force attacks, bots automatically testing thousands of password combinations. Nothing worked. The login held, every single time. And the harder it resisted, the more attention it pulled in. The story spread across tech forums, then into paranormal boards, then onto Reddit. Naturally, rumors followed. Some people claimed they'd gotten in and described finding everything from music archives to classified government files. Almost all of it turned out to be fabricated. But one detail wasn't a rumor. A name kept surfacing in the domain records: Thomas Ling. The domain had been registered under that name, along with roughly 24 other websites through the same hosting company, so people started looking for him. One lead pointed to a Thomas Ling in Sydney, Australia, until researchers found the listed address was just an empty plot of land. Other leads led to abandoned warehouses, remote locations, phone numbers that rang and rang. A few of the names attached to the mystery turned out to belong to people who had died years before the domain was even registered. Some trails pointed to a dentist, an attorney, a security consultant. Different people, different cities, all connected to the same name. Nobody ever confirmed which one, if any, was real. Here's where it gets even stranger. Among the other sites registered to the same name was a domain called Cthulhu.net, carrying the exact same eerie, unexplained feel as Mortis.com. Two mystery sites, one registrant, and buried among the 24 linked domains was something almost funny. A completely ordinary website for a woman's quilting business. Same owner as a site allegedly hoarding terabytes of hidden data. That contrast is what kept people hooked, because whoever this was, they weren't just one type of person. We may never know for certain. By 2011, the site had reportedly gone offline, though it's hard to pin down exactly when, since most of the original discussion threads had vanished from search engines by then. One user later claimed that Thomas Ling reached out directly, demanding people stop trying to break in. When pressed for an explanation, the story goes, he claimed the site was simply hosting his wedding photos, terabytes of wedding photos, behind a login that resisted every attack thrown at it, named after the Latin word for death. Make of that what you will. Here's the part that keeps this alive. Both Mortis.com and Cthulhu.net are inaccessible today, and someone specifically requested that all archived records of them be scrubbed from the Wayback Machine, not just taken offline, actively erased from the internet's own memory. The only proof they ever existed is the record that someone asked for them to be wiped, and here's the detail that should bother you most. The domain was set to expire in 2020, but instead, it was quietly re-registered under the same name, valid through 2025. If someone wanted to disappear from this story completely, why keep renewing the domain that started it? None of this is confirmed. Most of what circulated about Mortis.com was rumor, half memory, and forum speculation, stitched together over more than a decade. That's worth being honest about. But the core facts, the size of the files, the resistance to every attack, the deliberate erasure from the archive, those details never fully went away either. Somewhere, a domain tied to that name is still active, still renewed, still quiet. Most secrets on the internet eventually leak. This one didn't. It just went dark, got erased, and came back anyway, which might be the only part of this story that isn't a rumor at all.